Hello, everyone, and welcome to the StarCityGames.com Baltimore Open Weekend, part of Season 1 of the 2018 SCG Tour, brought to you by the wonderful people over at Ultimate Guard and Twitch. Cedric Phillips and Todd Anderson here in the booth. Nick Miller is down in the feature match area as you see all 6 players shake hands, getting ready to rock and roll here in our semifinal matchup. As we're going to watch Todd Stevens and his Green-White Company decks against Alexander Ferzola playing Humans. Generally a pretty good matchup here for Green-White Company, though Todd Stevens, off to a slow start.
Yeah, he doesn't have a turn 1 Birds of Paradise and Nova Hierarch where his deck really starts to gain a lot of momentum. The bulk of his powerful cards are sitting at the 3 and 4 slot, so it's usually pretty important that he leads off with one of those in order to gain a significant advantage. Alexander leading with an Ether Vial means that he may be the one with the mana advantage this game.
A Vial to start there for Ferzola as we head back over to Todd Stevens, who will play a Windswept Teeth and simply pass the turn back once again. So a very slow start here for the Czar of Value Town, as you so eloquently put it earlier this weekend. We head back over to Ferzola, who does have a Meddling Mage in hand. Vial up to 1. And you see a little teamwork here from Eapen, Ferzola, and Lou.
So if he has a Meddling Mage, pretty clear that unless Todd Stevens plays a Path to Exile right now, he should name Path to Exile, but he opts to go for Dark Confidant, which is a higher risk, high reward play early in the game. You know, it could deal him some damage, but those extra cards are probably going to take over the game if Todd Stevens doesn't have a Path to Exile right now.
The one-of slots here in Humans, they do vary quite a bit. You're going to find 1 Dark Confidant, 1 Direfleet Daredevil, and 1 Kessig Malcontents this weekend for Alexander Ferzola. To note, only 3 copies of Reflector Mage for him this weekend, where you generally see 4.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Direfleet Daredevil in this deck, simply because you can't use mana from Ancient Ziggurat to cast the spell. And Ancient Ziggurat, you know, messes you up every now and then with Ether Vial if it's your only land on turn 1. So I could see that coming up with Daredevil. Also, you know, you're usually going to cast removal spells off of it, and there aren't that many decks in the format that play like a reasonable amount of removal and enough creatures that you want to target.
Knight of the Reliquary here from Todd Stevens. That's going to be a 3-mana 5/5 as Dark Confidant's going to reveal Noble Hierarch. We're going to head back over to Ferzola now. Vial up to 2. And let's see. Is it going to be a freebooter? It is. There will be a trigger. 2 of them, in fact. 1 for the freebooter, 1 for the champion. Let's see what Todd. Ha! Ha! Give me that worship. I see what you're trying to do to me,
So
Todd Stevens.
That's why he kept the hand.
Yep.
He single-handedly won multiple games in the Swiss by just casting Worship on turn 4. I know he beat Ross Miriam at some point by keeping a 1-lander and just drew 3 lands in a row, cast a creature to play to Worship. Elves can't beat it.
Meddling Mage, I would name Path to Exile.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really fantastic start from Alexander's side. You know, he's locked out the Worship, which could be problematic, but also Meddling Mage locked down all the Path to Exiles, and Todd Stevens doesn't have another way to get creatures off the battlefield in Game 1.
This is going to be a problem now for Todd Stevens. Then I'm trying to think of how he wiggles his way out of this situation, because you mentioned no other removal for Path to Exiles. He's got 4 Collected Companies, and then he's got a Warship. Now this is a Courtier Crew fix, so he will take a look at a Collected Company on top of his deck. And let's see what else he wants to do here, as he's stuck with paths that he cannot cast thanks to Meddling Mage. It'll be a Forest, trigger the Courser, gain a little bit of life. Of course, Knight of the Reliquary can allow him to gain even more life as well. But I think Todd Stevens might be in some trouble here.
Oh, for sure. Active Dark Confidant, Path to Exile locked down. This is not a great look.
This is a Reflector Mage. Looks like Vial's going to stay on 3. Excuse me, it's going to stay on 2. I thought it might move up to 3.
I mean, he probably stacked it in such a way where he could choose, and he missed land drop, so I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't send it up to 3, especially after revealing the Reflector Mage to the Dark Confidant. Luckily, his draw step yielded a land, and now he can probably go Reflector Mage plus Phantasmal Image and just do dirty stuff.
You're going to have a Reflector Mage here to bounce the Knight of the Reliquary. Looks like Knight is going to potentially go active, but maybe not, because Stevens would really like to draw that Collected Company. And if there is a Phantasmal Image in hand to be able to copy the Reflector Mage and bounce the Courser, which I think there may be, this game is not over just yet because it's Thalia, but it's certainly looking close as here comes Champion of the Parish and Kitesail Freebooter.
You know, maybe I overestimated Green-White Value Town's success rate in this matchup. We'll see. This is just game one.
Yeah, this is just game one, and Todd did go to a slow start. You understand why, based off of the hand that we saw. Of course, the combination of creatures plus worship is very, very difficult for Ferzola and most humans players to beat.
So at this point, Alexander, knowing the deck list in the top 8, should realize that Todd Stevens has no other way to get this Meddling Mage off the battlefield, which means the Kitesail Freebooter is never going to leave the battlefield unless he attacks into a flyer, which the only flyer from Todd Stevens that could kill it, we have Birds of Paradise with a bunch of counters on it from a Gavany Township. So just got to play it safe. I think he has this one locked up as long as Dark Confidant doesn't randomly deal him 1,000 damage.
That'd be the worst case scenario, that is for sure, as Stevens is going to resolve a Collected Company. He did have to pay 5 mana, of course, for that because of Thalia. Here's Noble Hierarch and a Knight of Reliquary off the Collected Company. Got a little update here for you real quick. James Liu with Black and Constrictor does win game number 1 here over Collins Mullen, playing old white-black aggro. One of those things about the white-black aggro deck is that it doesn't have a ton of removal. So, you know, something like just Wine and Constrictor hanging out on the battlefield could be difficult for these white-black aggro decks to beat.
Yeah, and that could just be, you know, the early formats jitters of maybe building your deck slightly incorrectly or just building it for a different expected metagame. As you know, we didn't see a ton of Constrictor this weekend, so there usually weren't 4 copies of Fatal Push in these white-black aggro decks, whereas normally you would expect Fatal Push to be an auto-include as a 4 of, and that's something that the Black-Green Constrictor deck can really capitalize on.
Freebooter's going to take Path to Exile. What's the follow-up here?
Just in case.
Another Reflector Mage. Bounce there, trigger the champion.
Is that good?
It's not bad. It's not bad. You see Alexander trying to figure out exactly how much he can attack for and see if he can just basically get this game over with right now.
So he could attack and lose the Thalia, but I think he's just going to make the safe play here.
Yeah, just getting a point there. And, of course, a chump block on the very large Champion of the Parish.
Hilariously enough, even though Alexander is insanely far ahead, you know, you can see he has, 7 creatures in play, Ether Vial, a bunch of lands. Todd Stevens just has a Corvus Crucifix, but it's holding off an entire horde of creatures.
And he's doing a nice job of taking care of the Meddling Mage, the Dark Confidant, and the Thalia Guardian of Thraben. And, heck, even the Reflector Mages, though I wouldn't be surprised to see them get back in to the red zone the next turn. To note, Voice of Resurgence can be cast, but Knight of the Reliquary cannot. Rain Excavator, though, that's clear for takeoff.
Yeah, and notably has 3 toughness, too, so that can block Reflector Mage or the other 2-power creatures without fear of dying, unless a Thalia's Lieutenant comes off the top here pretty quick.
Kitesail Freebooter is the reveal there off of Dark Confidant, and Ferzola will draw another card. You mentioned Thalia's Lieutenant. That is the card that I think Ferzola is looking for to lock this up, though Mantis Rider certainly won't hurt, and I think he did find one of the 3/3 flying, hasty, and vigilance human.
Yeah, flying definitely a big deal, an important factor in this matchup. Todd Stevens doesn't have that many ways to interact with flying creatures, notably just Path to Exile in Game 1 or Birds of Paradise jump blocking. So something like Mantis Rider and then also copying it with Phantasmal Image can be a significant clock.
Ferzola going to do a little consulting with his teammate James Liu, who's already up a game over Collins Mullen. As you do know, you can, of course, check our scoreboard there in the middle for all of the match updates here. Roshan Eapen and Jody Keith, they're still battling it out. That's Sultai Delver versus Turbo Depths. Humans looking like it's going to be up a game here over Green-White Company. Pretty good shape here for Alexander. Just wants to make sure he doesn't make some sort of mental misstep.
Yeah, a lot of people tried to convince me that Dark Confidant was bad in this deck. There's a reason why there's only one of them, but in the matchups where you draw it and they don't have a way to deal with it, the game is just over before it even begins. You know, we saw a turn 2 Dark Confidant alongside Champion of the Parish off of the Ether Vial, and it's just buried Todd in card advantage, finding Alexander so many ways to disrupt him. Kitesail Freebooter stealing the very important Worship, Meddling Mage, naming Path to Exile to keep the Worship locked down from the freebooter. And, he still has like 5 cards in hand.
He's doing really well.
Yeah.
It looks like, uh-oh. Is this game over? We're attacking with, it looks like, everybody. So let's see. 3, 4, 5 in the air is definitely going to happen. So let's put Todd Stevens a virtual 6.
No, he has the give everything. He has Doll's Lieutenant.
He's got Lieutenant in him?
This is a very bad attack and a dangerous attack unless he has Doll's Lieutenant. The only way that Todd Stevens can win this game is if, well, okay.
Well, he can't win this game. That's why you see him concede. I don't know if there's an if there at all. However, what we do know is that Alexander Ferzola is going to win this game over Todd Stevens. 5-color humans. A very quick epic game over Green and White Company. Stevens going to get off to a faster start than that, man.
Yeah, I mean, he kept the hand strictly based on Worship being a killer in Game 1. Most of the time, though, you're going to need Noble Hierarch, Birds of Paradise in turn 1. It's especially good on the play because you can start pumping out your powerful 3-drops as quickly as turn 2.
Well, these players are going to go to the drawing boards, and we'll be going to them as well in just a moment. But first, a couple words from our sponsors. We are back, getting ready to watch game number 2 here between Todd Stevens and Alexander Ferzola. That's Green White Company against 5-color humans. Take a look at that scoreboard real quick, though. The team of Eapen, Ferzola, and Lou, they're getting their brooms ready. They're all up a game here over Keith, Stevens, and Mullen. Let's see if Stevens can tie things up. He's got some good cards in his sideboard. 2 Engineer Explosives, 2 Eidolon of Rhetoric, 2 Reclamation Sage, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Stony Silence, a Blessed Alliance, a Kotaki War's Wage, an Eldritch Evolution, a Tireless Tracker, and a Gideon's Intervention.
My guess, Todd Stevens is going to bring in any card that can interact with a creature in a positive way. While Engineer Explosives may not be that great against humans out of the sideboard for most decks, in this scenario, Todd Stevens just needs more ways to be able to kill Meddling Mage, or the troublesome Mantis Rider off of a Noble Hierarch or Birds of Paradise.
True. Very true. We take a look at Ferzola. He's got 2 Sin Collector, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Zathra Necromancer, and here come the one of fun ofs. And Selfless Spirit, Reclamation Sage, Mirren Crusader, Oriok Champion, Kotaki War's Wage, Hostage Taker is a Static Caster, and Camball Council of Allocation. I love a Hostage Taker here.
Hostage Taker does seem pretty sweet, especially with Ether Vial being able to put it on the battlefield, not only at instant speed, but for free. And then casting the creature with your mana just seems pretty nice. There's a lot of sweet 3-drops, so if you're able to set that up, it just seems awesome. There's not a lot. This is not a matchup that the Humans deck really expects to face too much. It's coming up against Todd Stevens in the top 4. Sometimes it just happens. I think he wants as many flyers as possible. Staticaster might be okay because it can knock off Birds of Paradise and Noble Hierarchs, but that's basically it.
This is a lot better start for Todd Stevens. I see a Birds of Paradise. I see a 1-mana spell. We're playing Modern after all. You better play something on the first turn of the game. Cavern of Souls, Ether Vial. That's a good start here for both players as we'll head back over to Todd Stevens in just a moment.
Yeah, that's definitely what both decks want to be doing in the early turns. You either want to be establishing a board presence with something like Champion of the Parish or accelerating your mana with Noble Hierarch or Ether Vial. Same from Todd Stevens. Maybe doesn't want all of these mana-producing creatures, but, rather have 3 than 0.
Well, have you considered the attack for 2?
Yeah, I did.
Get in there.
I just saw it happen.
Ferzola down to 18. He's got a counter on his Vial. We'll see what Alexander can put together for his second turn of the game. He's going to start things off with a second copy of Ether Vial. Not great in multiples, but
it's better if you're missing land drops, because now he can start casting 2 drops next turn. The turn after that, he can leave 1 on 3, leave 1 on 2, and effectively cast his whole hand over time.
Courser of Krufix will reveal a collected company.
That's a nice one.
Does Todd Stevens have anything else to do? The answer is yes. It's a Wooded Foothills. Trigger the Courser. He will gain a life. Don't think I've ever seen the guy miss a Courser trigger in his entire life.
Believe he... Well, I thought he had a Voice of Resurgence, and I think that's more important to get on the battlefield than attacking for 2. And he doesn't want to crack the fetch land because he wants to cast Collected Company.
Noble Hire going to come out through that Vial. Vials will go 2 and 1 respectively. And now Alexander Ferzola will draw a card for his third turn of the game. He does have the copy of Hostage Taker in hand. Ooh, yeah.
You know what's worse than the second Ether Vial?
Talk to me. The third one?
The third one in his hand.
Ugh.
And the fourth one that's inevitably lying on top of his deck.
Ugh.
It happens. Set 1 at 4 for Hostage Taker.
Okay.
1 at 3, 1 at 2, and 1 at 1.
You're all set up?
Yeah.
Okay. And then hope every draw step that's not a spell is Horizon Canopy?
Yeah.
Perfect. Or just never draw a land again.
No, not drawing lands is how you win
Yeah.
in a lot of scenarios. Now, I know I said is that Staticaster might not be good enough because it only targets Noble Hierarchs and Birds of Paradise. Well, who knows?
Meddling Mage going to come on down.
Looks like he has one in hand.
I got a feeling it's going to name Collected Company, but I do want to confirm, as here's a copy of Thais Lieutenants. Going to make everybody a little bit larger, and Coco was the name.
Yeah, we're going to shuffle this one away now. We don't want to draw a dead card, and since Todd Stevens doesn't have Path to Exile at the ready to take care of the Meddling Mage, otherwise, if we had Path to Exile, we'd be like, okay, that's fine. Draw the Collected Company, main phase Path to Exile, cast Coco. Find 2 giant dudes. Or dudettes.
That's a Horizon
Dominaries
Canopy.
diverse.
We're going to head back over to Todd Stevens now. Horizon Canopy is the draw. Let's take a look at the top card of the deck. And that is a Windswept Heath.
Have you seen Rada?
No.
The Warlord of Keld?
Oh, I've been attacked by it
An
before.
absolute unit.
Yeah. That thing's mushed me in Limited. Top card now is another copy of Courser. So we're getting the band together here. Oh, yeah. Get him with the Courser.
A swing for 4 here is fine. There's a good chance that Courser Krufix might not be able to block the Meddling Mage next turn, thanks to a Phantasmal Image or a second copy.
Mm-hmm. A couple copies of Voice of Resurgence here for Todd Stevens. Pass that turn back over to Alexander Ferzola. 3 and 2 on the Vials. This is where things do get a little bit scary. Seachrome Coast, the draw. Again, do remember Hostage Taker in hand. You see a copy of Phantasmal Image and is a Staticaster. Now, Staticaster does kill Noble Hierarch. What
Doesn't kill his, though, because his has a counter on it.
That's correct.
Nice. This is looking very bad for Stevens.
It's not getting any easier. Is this going to be a Phantasmal Image? Oh, no, another is a Staticaster. Okay. What's the plan now?
Just shoot down probably... Yeah, probably copying Staticaster would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting down Birds and Noble Hierarchs. At some point in the next few turns, he's going to shoot both the Voices, Hostage Taker, the Courser Krufix, and then untap and try to shoot the Voice tokens to death.
Okay.
That's my thought process here.
Kill your Birds. Oh, wow. Missed 2 Lieutenant triggers.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of the downside of team play. Those players together worked out the play.
Yeah, just chatty Cathys, you know? Just.
But that lieutenant being a 1-1 as opposed to a 3-3, that's a bit of an issue.
It's really funny. That exact scenario happened to me last week. I missed a champion of the Parish Trigger because I was consulting on like turn 2 or 3, you know, for like the legacy match. And then I was playing against Catlight, and who went on to lose in the finals, but put up a stellar result with her team.
Yep.
And I like looked down, and my champion doesn't have a counter on it. I'm just like, oh my god, I missed a champion. She goes, yep.
You sure did.
Yep.
Plain's the draw.
She tried very hard not to make fun of me.
Wooded Foothills on top of the deck now with the Courser. That is going to enter the battlefield, trigger the Courser. Green-White Company having a tough road here as there's Collected Company, which is being named by Meddling Mage.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to keep shuffling that one away. Stevens desperately needs something like Engine or Explosives here. You know, that Meddling Mage locking down his Collected Companies takes away a lot of his late-game power.
Yeah.
I will say, not casting the 30th vial there. Come on. Just play it.
Might as well put it on the battlefield as here comes a couple copies of Voice of Resurgence. Ooh, pretty fast block.
Blocking one's fine. You know, you're going to start shrinking it soon with Hostage Taker as well as using Static Casters. Like, for example, if Stevens doesn't play another creature here, Alexander gets to untap, Hostage Taker, the Courser Crewfix, and then use both Static Casters immediately to just shoot the E-Legacies token.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Elevator going up to 4. And 3. Those are some sweet spots for humans. Can cast all the 2-mana spells in the deck. And now Ferzola will draw. Looks like it may have been an Ancient Ziggurat, maybe an unclaimed territory. Nonetheless, it is an unclaimed territory. Took along with the Vial and the Hostage Taker in hand.
Yep, Hostage Taker here, steal Courser more than likely. Cast it, make sure that you don't hit a glut of lands for the next forever.
I like that.
Yep, and he still has the ability to play a land if he uses the Noble Hierarch to cast the Courser.
All right, Hostage Taker has resolved.
I think I like playing the fetch or cracking the. I'm pretty sure he's going to crack the fetch land. He can't afford to draw the Dead Collected Company, right? So my thoughts are the information you give away by showing your opponent your next card on top of your deck less valuable than the 1 life because you're probably going to play it next turn no matter what.
Static Casters are going to go a shooting.
That is aggressive.
Going to kill these. Kill the Voice Resurgence, not kill the token. A little surprised by that, perhaps.
I mean, if Stevens doesn't draw a creature next turn that can survive Static Casters, you know, he's going to be able to keep them small. So now they have the same name. You know, it's fine.
Well, Stevens is going to sacrifice his Windswept Heath, shuffle away the Collected Company, dig a land out of his deck, and hope for something better than what he has found. He's in a lot of trouble, as is the rest of the team there in Keith, Stevens, and Mullen. They're all down a game, and it looks like the Green-White Company player might be down a match.
The only Green-White Company player.
In day 2. Maybe the only one in the room this weekend. Who knows?
There was only one in day 2, that's for sure. It's a good deck. Sometimes it's strong. Oh, he drew Collected Company.
Well.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah, he did. All right, we get to cycle this Horizon Canopy, though. Try to find a good one.
Looking for Path to Exile, mostly, I have to imagine.
I don't like rooting against my friends, but I like rooting for pain. I just hope that it was another Collected Company. Oh, wow. It was an Explosives.
Well, he's back in the game now, maybe.
Yeah, so he can play Explosives, pop it for 2, get the Thaw's Lieutenant and the Meddling Mage. That still leaves Izzet Static Casters, which are going to clear his board. But he gets to unlock Collected Company, which he did draw one.
Yeah, this is the tough thing about playing against humans. The swath of creatures. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got Vials in 1. You got Static Caster and Phantasmal Image at 3 along with Courser. Hostage Taker at 4. That's a pretty wide swath. Meddling Mage on top of the deck now.
So if I'm Alexander here, I'm definitely just main phase, kill both these tokens, or try to. You you know, if Stevens has a path, he would have used it already, so there's no way he can path the one that gets targeted by the second activation. Not that he'd want to anyway at this point. Path is way too valuable.
Both tokens down. The good news here for Stevens is that he's at 21. It's going to be less than that in a bit.
You know what the smart play? Those all can attack too. I was gonna say you could attack with just Noble Hierarch. I forgot that the Hostage Taker and Courser were already in play.
Oh, they're ready to hang out.
Come on in, the water's fine. That's my other catchphrase.
No, that's your 5th one of the weekend.
4th?
I'm gonna go 5th.
Sure. Most of them aren't actually catchphrases. I
Fast
just
turn back.
say they're my catchphrase.
Engineer Explosives is going to take care of Meddling Mage and Thais Lieutenant. And that is it.
He's still in this game if he's able to hit like 2 Knight of the Reliquaries off of this collected company.
Oh, yeah, company's going to have to be really, really good.
Now, Alexander doesn't have any flyers in play at the moment, so any 2 big creatures that don't get shot down by Izzet Staticaster could be pretty sweet here.
We're going to main phase this company? Yes, we are.
Yeah, if you hit a Courser Crew Fix, you want to make sure you get that value, get that land off the top of your deck. Raymond Excavator also lets you replay Horizon Canopy out of the graveyard. So main phasing here, pretty good.
Scavenging Ooze, neither Reliquary, not so bad there for Todd Stevens as he's looking to rebuild a battlefield now.
No, and also while Alexander is tapped out, I would be very inclined, from Todd Stevens' perspective, to go ahead and grow that Scavenging Ooze to a 3/3 so it doesn't get shot down immediately by the Staticasters.
Well, Jody Keith was able to tie things up there against Roche and Eapen. So, Turbodeps, Sultai Delver going to get ready for a 3rd one here. As Scavenging Ooze is going to eat a little something before heading back over to Alexander Ferzola.
I'm about ready to do that myself.
Noted.
I'm hungry.
Meddling Mage.
That's my next catchphrase. That one's way more believable.
I think that's copyrighted.
I'm hungry?
Yeah.
Who?
Someone.
Sure.
Mantis Rider, the top card of the deck.
That's a good one.
Yeah, flyers are an issue for Todd Stevens' deck. Mantis Rider can cause a lot of headaches for Green-White Company.
Yep. At this juncture, if I'm Alexander Ferzola, you've seen the explosives go down. There's only 1 more explosives in the deck. Melee may just name Path to Exile. You know, hope Mantis Rider gets the job done before Todd Stevens gets out of control.
We have seen Stevens get out of control with this deck before.
Oh, for sure.
He's already got a little bit of it starting to brew up here with another Reliquary that will be active next turn. Scavenging Ooze looking to stabilize the battlefield. All that good stuff. Not a lot for Ferzola to do here. You see the Meddling Mage in hand, along with a Vial and a Ziggurat. So here comes Meddling Mage, it looks like. And the question is now is, what is it going to name? Todd Anderson wants to name Path to Exile. We'll see what Alexander Ferzola and the rest of his squad want to name with the very powerful 2/2. Path to Exile is the name.
Told you.
Yep. I deserve that.
It's too easy.
I deserve that. I walked right into that, actually.
The perfect Coco.
I did. Here is Courser. All right, we're building a little something. Building a mystery, one may say.
I'm pretty sure you've said that before on camera.
That's Sarah McLaughlin. I can't really take credit for that. Top card, Bliss
Man,
Resurgence.
now I'm just thinking about that dog commercial.
I know.
Why would you do that to me?
I know.
I guess it's payback for me making you think about that Friday song.
That was much earlier in the weekend, yes. And now it's in my head again.
Throwback Thursday, you know.
We got James Liu. He wins 2-0.
You know,
Black-green Constrictor.
If this white-black aggro deck is everywhere, and this black-green Constrictor deck beat it twice in a row, it's got to be something to look out for in the next week or so.
I think so. Black-green Constrictor, I mean, the white-black aggro deck just does not have a lot of removal, and that means that White Constrictor and friends can kind of go nuts. So we're going to keep our eyes on James Liu. If he makes it to the finals with his team, as we've got Alexander Ferzola already up a game and in pretty good position, but not great position just yet. And then, of course, we've got Roche and Eapen and Jody Keith getting ready for a 3rd and final game. That is a Birds of Paradise.
Probably shuffle that one away with now the Reliquary getting something like Horizon Canopy. controlling your draws, definitely something you need to be doing with this green-white Value Town deck when you have Courser Crewfix in play.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things that that Todd Stevens' deck can do. It really does do a nice job of controlling its draw step. As Mantis Rider will be the draw here for Ferzola. Take a look at the top card. There's Seachrome Coast. That'll be a freebie off the Courser.
Yes.
Gain a life.
All right, I wish that was on my bingo card. Stolen Courser Crewfix plays a land.
That would be very hard to fulfill.
You know what? Bingo.
Yeah. Would have been more likely than the Weatherlight getting crude.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Nick.
I think my bingo board got tossed.
I threw it in the garbage.
But I'm pretty sure that happened. The Courser, Stolen Courser playing a land off the top. And I'm sure I had 3 that just have not happened yet.
I'm pretty sure
Dredge 3. I haven't seen a Dredge card all weekend.
All you needed was 1 life from the loam.
A Dark Blast.
Yeah, you
Ship
win.
it.
You win via 1 life from the loam Dredge.
Yeah, and
That's
they're
it.
nowhere to be seen.
They're not.
Everyone's playing this Turbo Depths version instead.
Yeah.
Oh, we did have a lands deck in the top 8. It was dispatched last round by Jody Keith himself.
Horizon Canopy will be found here from Knight of the Reliquary.
This battlefield is getting gummed up. Someone needs to close it out quick.
This is what Todd Stevens wants things to look like.
Except for the flyer.
Well, yes, of course. He would like to be able to handle that. But the nice thing that his deck is able to do, because I've seen Todd Stevens do this before, is in combination with Courser, Scavenging Ooze, and some other things that he's able to put together, the 4 damage from the Mantis Rider quickly becomes neutral. I mean, it's not really dealing much damage at all.
Once he gets Courser, Crewfix, multiples in play, or multiple Knights with 1 Courser, he's already gaining quite a bit of life with the Scavenging Ooze, although most of the food is gone by now. You're right. It does start to break even. Wow. Well, not wow. Most of the important permanents from the other side of the battlefield cost 3, Staticaster's locking most of the creatures down. Mantis Rider, Flyer, Courser, Crewfix. And it is 2-sided Engineering Explosive. It will destroy things from both sides.
If he does do it for 3, it will kill a lot of stuff.
If he does it for 2, he also loses his Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah, that's very true. Maybe got a little too excited there.
Don't get me wrong. It's a fine draw. It is not game over, which we've seen Engineering Explosives we can just end games on the spot in some matches. I think we saw one against Ross Merriam's Elves deck.
That was game.
Killed like 5 Elves. Is that good?
So Ooze 4/4. Now the Reliquary much larger than that. Courser on the battlefield. You see the top card there of Engineer Explosives, which Stevens can draw right now with Horizon Canopy if he'd like, or he can wait a little bit.
Yeah, and that's really the decision he's thinking about now. Like, what happens? He doesn't have the 3rd color. Like, he needs a Birds of Paradise or Noble Hierarch in order to get that up to X equals 3. So right now he's trying to figure out, is this worthwhile to pop now for X equals 2? Also, if he has a land on top of his deck, he wants to be able to play that with Courser, gain a little more value. After all, he's the czar of Value Town.
Oh, boy. Oh, tough Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah.
Coming in here.
What you want? Knock, knock.
Not messing around here with this Scavenging Ooze.
There's only 1 creature in the graveyard to eat. The 2 from Ferzola's side are exiled. That Champion of the Parish, of course, is on top of the deck.
This is interesting.
Oh, it looks like he has 2 creatures, 2 Voice of Resurgence in his own graveyard.
Got Hostage Taker. Gonna bite the dust. Looks like Brennan DeCandio won his match yet again over in Standard. So
I am shocked.
For a white-blue mid-range deck that he did not have much success with today, he's bouncing back at the right time, folks.
Yeah, 1-5 into 3-5, and those are, the 2 of the wins coming in top 8 and top 4. Nice job.
That's right.
Maybe he just had a couple of bad draws, a couple of bad rounds.
Sometimes you get bad matchups. That's why team tournaments rock.
Yeah.
The other 2 matches in that matchup were tied 1 apiece, so we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here in our semifinals of our Team Constructed Open here in Baltimore. Both matches in the top 4, getting pretty close. As there's an Ancient Ziggurat trigger. Oh, there's Vile 4. You knew it was coming.
You know what I deserve?
Nope.
I deserve Todd Stevens to win this game.
Why? Why is that?
Because we deserve another game like this.
Why do you deserve him to win?
because I made the very bad choice of not going to the restroom before this match.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
And I deserve to get punished.
Now you do, yeah. You deserve maximum punishment.
Yeah. I mean, second Corsair Kruvix on Todd Stevens' side means that Todd Stevens is going to be getting roughly 1,900 life a turn. I think.
You've done the math.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, this Manus Rider is not going to get the job done.
This is what happens when you play against this deck. Sometimes he just has one Corsair, and if he has two Corsairs, forget about it.
Yeah. Fetch lands start gaining you life. Jeez.
I have seen this before. I think that first game that we watched may be a bit of an anomaly. It's weird to say I may have mulligan that hand, but it was so slow. You know the Knight Warship hand?
Are you the czar?
I'm not.
You know?
I'm a lowly peasant of Value Town. I just hang out around there.
Yeah. I like to cast my hieroglyphic illuminations. You know? I'm not full on degenerate Gitrog monstering people on stream.
Yeah. All right, Todd's going to go activating his Knight of the Reliquary, sacrifice a forest, shuffle away Corsair, get a land, gain a little bit of life.
Yeah, maybe the second Corsair Kruvix, not something he wants here. Wants to dig for something like Collect a Company. You know, he's been shuffling them away because for the longest time, Meddling Mage was naming Collect a Company.
Mm-hmm.
This one, of course, naming Path to Exile. So Todd Stevens not going to be casting that anytime soon.
Oh, no.
Is it time? He has Ether Vials in play. Oh, I see. No, I know what he's doing.
What you got?
So if he wants to try to find Azusa and Raymond Excavator, that's his plan to close out this game 25 minutes from now.
Okay.
He's going to blow up all his lands. He's going to injure explosives for 1 and blow up all the vials and the Champion of the Parish.
Yes, we're going into the long game, aren't we?
Yeah, we weren't there yet. Now we're going into the long, long game.
Path to Exile.
Don't want that one.
No. Fortunately, you can shuffle that away. Todd Stevens has got big, big plans.
Did he just get Moto bugged again? Just drew the Corsair after shuffling it away?
No,
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 it's a Knight. Never mind. I missed the new reveal.
E.
Was too busy making jokes.
Kablooey. Hierarch, Champion, 2 vials down.
So bold strategy, considering, you know.
Nah, dog, those vials got to go.
He has an Ether Vial on top,
Yep.
you know. Bang.
Well, Ghost Quarter him. Make him shuffle it away.
Sure. Might as well. Maybe, I mean, I guess Ghost Quarter is better if that plan ends up coming together, but like something like Township or Canopy, which could have instantaneous use, is definitely an option. Although Stevens occasionally, he only has the 1 Horizon Canopy, right? No, he has 2.
I actually think I figured out what Todd Stevens' plan is.
Is it to bore me to death?
It is to attack. It is to attack you with enormous creatures.
Yeah.
His knights are both enormous.
Yep.
And his scavenging ooze is enormous.
I guess, yeah, I mean, that's just chump blocks.
Yeah.
I might not attack with the ooze because it itself does not, I mean, it doesn't seem lethal. He needs to activate 5 times. But, like, if you, yeah, it's.
So there are 9 lands in the graveyard?
Yeah, those are lethal.
Those are 11/11s?
Well, with Ghost Quarter, they threaten lethal, technically, because
True.
they can instantaneously put 2 more lands in the graveyard.
You know he knows that.
Yeah. If Todd Stevens knows anything about being, oh, he's just conceding.
Yeah, we done. Todd Stevens going to win game number 2 here over Alexander Ferzola. Value Town, more like Beatdown Town. We're all tied up now.
You know, I told you, if you collect the company into Knight of the Reliquary, he had a shot.
Oh, yeah. You're a genius. Nice.
Hey.
If he collected companies into his best card, he can win. You know what? You can say.
He had nothing on the field versus 7 creatures.
That's true.
He collected company into, like, the 2 best.
We're going to hear from our sponsors real quick, okay?
All right.
BRB.
Yeah, thanks.
are back, getting ready to watch game number 3 here between Todd Stevens and Alexander Ferzola. Humans not able to get it done in that game. Even had a hostage taker, too. That was all part of Todd Stevens' plan, though. Yeah, take my Courser and recast it. I don't care. It's all part of the plan, man.
I mean, it's not like Alexander Ferzola has even been to Valuetown before.
His first visit.
He showed up to the gates. He's like, takes a peek inside by stealing the Courser. He gets 1 land off the top.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do anything.
That's
You don't need your 7th land when you're playing humans. So, yeah, I mean, the hostage taker was good in that spot, but, Todd Stevens' deck can build some mighty walls. Neither the Reliquary being gigantic, Scavenging Ooze gaining some life, also being a large blocker on the ground. Ferzola needed more flyers, and I don't think Kitesail Freebooter is still in his deck. I personally side that card out in this matchup because it only has about 8 or 9 hits. At least pre-board. Post-board, there's probably closer to like 12 or 13.
I think I might leave it in just because you'll take any flying body, maybe.
See, I thought that too, but, I mean, the little chip life game from Corsair Crewfix just makes it not that relevant. I mean, sure, if you get a couple Thaw's Lieutenants, you can punch through there. I'm okay. Proven wrong.
Well, Freebooter is going to get a path.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
What do I know?
I see a Voice of
Nice
Resurgence. I see a Voice of Resurgence.
Nice keep.
And a lot of lands. Oh, boy.
You got to. Birds of Paradise, Path to Exile, a blocker, 4 lands.
It's not the worst keep.
No, it looks a lot worse now.
Now
with
there's no
Path to
path.
Exile gone.
Yeah.
Like a lot worse.
Let's go back over to Ferzola, who's going to put his Vial on 2.
Here comes Mana Strider, copy, smush it for 7.
That would be bad news for
Well,
Tom.
I'm pretty sure he has both of those things. I don't know why he's consulting with his teammates.
Well, if he's got those, I think I might do that.
I don't know if he has the 3rd land, though. I'm pretty sure I saw a red, white, and blue creature and a blue creature.
We'll have to see, as he's going to have a little chit-chat here with James Liu, the black-green constrictor player, for their
He's
team.
also the black-green constructed player.
True.
Yeah.
He's gotten his W. He's looking to help Alexander get one more game win with humans here so they can move on to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, even if Todd Stevens wins this game, Jody Keith still has to take down the match because Collins Mullen was not victorious.
Let's see what we got here. We got another freebooter. Okay. Well, we want to see exactly what Stevens drew. He drew a Voice of Resurgence, so that's going to miss. Here's an attack for 1.
Un $1.
And now Ferzola will pass the turn back over to Stevens. Stevens will draw.
Well, that was an Engineer Explosives.
Okay.
We can go ahead and crack that. Bust all the 2s up. I kind of like waiting, honestly. I don't know if you want to play the second Voice of Resurgence. You kind of give up the ghost, so to speak, if you don't cast the Voice of Resurgence. Or maybe you bluff Collect a Company by by playing your 4th land. I don't really want to play my Engineer Explosives at all.
Phantasmal Image is
This
going
turn.
to copy Voice of Resurgence. They
Oh,
will
that's
both
interesting.
die. Yep, so they'll both get elemental tokens.
Yeah, that's elemental voice token on the side of humans is going to be very large most of the time.
Here's Engineer Explosives for 2. There's a land, the ability to blow it up past the turn back. Let's go back over to Ferzola.
I'm fine waiting. This stops Alexander from being able to play a Thaw's Lieutenant pre-combat. If Alexander goes, put in Mantis Rider, he absolutely wants to pump it. And so you save a point of life that way by waiting to pop the explosives.
Jody Keith, Goon Squad.
Victory. All right, it's all up to Mr. Stevens or Mr. Alexander.
That is a Ancient Ziggurat. This.
Ow. Double Mantis Rider. Please, double Mantis. Okay. I don't want to root against Todd Stevens. I just really like watching humans do its thing.
Well, it's going to be harder. I mean, we got 1 Mantis Rider and an attack
Okay.
for 5 in the air. And now here comes an elemental token, which is a 4/4, which can immediately be taken down to a 2/2, but still not a bad attack.
Yeah, I don't mind popping off the explosives now and then blocking a 2/2 on a 2/2, hoping that the last one of the last few cards in Alexander's hand is not a 3-drop. Unfortunately,
it's a Reflector Mage.
Yeah, but he doesn't really want to burn that here on something as paltry as a Voice of Resurgence token as only a 2/2. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I'll say that.
Well, it's time now for Todd Stevens to consult with his teammates in Collins, Mullen, and Jody Keith. Keith got the job done in his match. James Liu got the job done in his. And now, Jody going to chime in. Collins going to do the same thing. Looks like Todd's going to make a block here with his elemental token on Alexander's elemental token. Bird's Paradise going to hang out. Obviously can tap to help activate Engineer Explosives. Curious what the conversation is.
When to pop explosives. If they wait till after combat damage, they take 2 from the freebooters, but that plays a little bit around, the Reflector Mage. Not really, actually. Just pop it now. Save yourself 2 points.
There's the... Rarely do I see Todd Stevens so unsure of himself here. All right, so here's below that. Before damage.
Yeah, this is bad news.
Yeah, here's Reflector.
And all you have to do here is bounce Bird's Paradise. Not only does it stunt Todd's mana a little bit, it shrinks the Elicasis token down to a 1/1. And then, Alexander is still a 3/3.
Mm-hmm. So, a little damage comes through in the air from Mantis Rider. We head back over to Todd Stevens. Explosives did a little bit of work there, but maybe not as much as he would have liked. I think we're going to see a Voice of Resurgence here. Can't play the Bird's Paradise just yet. Does have Path to Exile in hand, though. Pass the turn back. We'll go back over to Ferzola. Vial on 3, draw a card.
I'm pretty sure that Horizon Canopy is getting popped.
I think that's a good place to start.
That's what it does.
Draw a card.
Gets popped. Play your free spell off Aether File.
Yeah. There's another Cavernous Souls. Now this will be a Thalia's Lieutenant. That's going to help grow all the people, but will not grow the Voice of Resurgence token directly with a +1/+1 counter. But because Thalia's Lieutenant did enter the battlefield, obviously you've got another creature, though one will now go away in Mantis Rider.
Yeah, we're still smashing in for 6 damage here, though. Todd Stevens probably not going to block. He may draw a creature like Courser Crufix that will allow him to double block the 3/4 Reflector Mage, which will either not kill the Courser Crufix or the Voice of Resurgence, or it will kill the Voice of Resurgence.
All right, so path is resolved. Mantis Rider is gone. Plains enters the battlefield. We head back over to Todd Stevens at 10 life to Ferzola's 17.
So still anybody's game. Todd Stevens is behind, but he is not in trouble. He has time. Like, he can still afford to take this hit for 6, maybe 7 damage next turn. Now, a Mantis Rider, another Thalia's Lieutenant, something like that off the top could be a little too much for him to handle, and then he'll need only Collect a Company for 2 very good creatures to survive.
Looks like Champion of the Parish was the draw.
Is that Mirren Crusader? I saw a white creature that didn't look like Thalia's Lieutenant. What we got over here? There's no way Thalia Garden of Thraben's still in this deck. Doesn't do enough in this matchup.
That's very unlikely.
Sideboard, it could be a Selfless Spirit, Mirror Crusader, Auriok Champion, which seems unlikely. You know what? I'm calling it. Mirror Crusader.
Well, we will find out. Here's an attack. There's a block with Voice of Resurgence on the Elemental token. And now Stevens will get an Elemental token of his own. Will there be a follow-up here for Zola? There will not be. So we will go back over to Todd Stevens. Stevens will draw a card. Has he found what he's looking for? Looks like it might be another one-mana creature.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not what he's looking for.
Yep, that's a Noble Hierarchy. This gentleman needs a Collected Company, neither Reliquary, Courser of Crufix, something like that to get the Value Town train rolling. Thinking about attacking the Birds of Paradise, huh?
You want to hear a funny story?
I don't know, do I?
Mirror Crusader, what protections does that have again?
I believe it is protection from
Green.
black and green.
Yeah,
Yes.
no. Yeah, green. What colors are all of Todd Stevens' creatures?
Most of those creatures are green.
Right.
Is this a Mirren Crusader? Hello.
Oh, that's the sound of all the wind going out of Todd Stevens' sails, unfortunately.
It's going to be tough now. He needs to find a path to exile.
Another creature would be insanely good for Alexander because it would push the Elicasis token up to a 5/5, and then the tokens won't trade.
Oh boy, everybody, huh? Or just most of them.
I kind of like attacking with everybody.
Well, we're going to hang back with Thais Lieutenant, but everybody else is going to come into the red zone.
Yeah. So you can block in. It will survive combat kind of against the Reflector Mage, but you kind of have to chump block the Ilicasis token as well, and that will after combat will shrink the token down to a 3/3, which will die. I guess Alexander also has to be cognizant of the chance that Todd Stevens does have a Collected Company in hand.
Yeah, just kind of slow rolling one.
Yeah, just waiting for a good spot to play it and surprise block. So there is a decent reason not to attack with the Thaw's Lieutenant. You could have drawn a Path Exile. Things couldn't go wrong.
Looks like Collins wants to make these blocks.
Yeah, I mean this is a fine block, except if Alexander has a 3-drop.
Interesting.
If he had a Reflector Mage, I think he would have main phased it off the Vial to bounce the token, and then also attacked with the Lieutenant.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't play around Reflector Mage in this instance if I'm Todd Stevens, Jody Keith, and Collins Mullen.
This block plays around instant speed 3-mana creature, at the very least.
Okay.
But if it was Mana Strider, he would have played it. You know, there's only one Mirror Crusader. If it was Reflector Mage, he probably would have played it. So actually thinking about it, I think the 4/4 should go on the 4/4. I think it should go the other way.
Well, it looks like it's going to go just this way.
You know, it's a slightly higher risk play, but you need things to go right.
He needs company. He found a Souza.
That's not
Doesn't block Mirror Crusader, and that is going to do it.
Sorry,
Roshan
buddy.
Eapen, Alexander Ferzola, and James Liu are going to win this match here over Jody Keith, Todd Stevens, and Collins Mullen, and the team with Saltai Delver, Humans, and Black Green Constrictor, not Constructed, are moving